everyone, my name is Kelsey. I am the coordinator for the Arboretum program. Today I am coming to you from our beautiful community farm and garden, where we have a bunch of our Learning by Leading Farm and Gardens team students are going to kind of give you a walkthrough of everything we do in this garden. They're going to cover things like irrigation, seasonality planting. They're going to show you a couple specialty crops that we have growing right now in our garden, essentially, and just give you all a great overview of everything we do here at the Arboretum Community Garden. Stay tuned for our students and some really fun stuff.
Hello everybody, my name is Alicia and I'm the co-coordinator for the UCF Farm and Gardens team. Today we're going to be talking a little bit how to water your plants. So we use two types of irrigation systems here in the farm garden. So we use drip irrigation in our raised beds, and then we use tape irrigation in our farmland. So let's first talk about the drip irrigation. We use this low pressure pipe system to control the amount of water that we give to our plants every day. It's hooked up to a time system that we can monitor and control on a computer inside. So the purpose of drip irrigation is to slowly water our plants without drowning them. So the raised bed is really good for smaller crops, crops that can be planted more close together, and it's just good for controlling the amount of water and conserving energy. So let's move on to tape irrigation. This is the pipeline that connects two rows of tape irrigation. So this irrigation is buried 3 to 6 feet underground. It's really durable. It uses a lot more water than the drip irrigation, and it's just for larger plots of land. You can cut this tape irrigation as long or as short as you need it to be. So like our farmland, that's not a perfect square. We can cut it in rows that are really long and really small to fit the area that we need it to be. Bonus irrigation round. So our blueberries have a really special form of irrigation that connects to a spigot we have in our garden. They're all connected on a row, and we can manually place in the pointing end to irrigate your special crops. We have blueberries here since they need acidic and rich soil that Florida just doesn't provide.
Hi, my name is Emma Kate. I am an intern here at the Community Farm and Garden. Today we're going to be talking about bottle gourds. So these are the bottle gourds, and we're growing them for the ornithologists on campus, or the bird scientists, and they actually use them to house the purple martins. So this is a younger bottle gourd, but once they're more mature, we usually take them and we would dry them and let them be dried out, and then you can either make them into utensils. Sometimes they're made into instruments, but in this case we would use them for birdhouses.
Hello, my name is Adriana. I'm an intern here at the Community Farm and Garden, and today I'm going to be talking about pest control. So we mainly use organic pest control here at the Arboretum for a couple of reasons. One of the main reasons is just to reduce its impact on the ecosystem for things like runoff and eutrophication. None of that is good, so we use organic pest control to take care of our plants while also tending to our pests. So to start with neem oil, we mainly use neem for things like aphids, whiteflies, and leaf miners. So all those things, they can eat at the leaves of plants, and that will inhibit their ability to photosynthesize and make glucose, so therefore they can grow and produce the things we need them to do. And so neem oil is derived from the neem tree. It's taken out of the seeds of the neem tree, and it's used mainly in organic pest control, but it can also be used in things like cosmetics and soaps. So to talk about Captain Jack's, Captain Jack's is a bacteria concentrate that infiltrates the bug system, and it is a toxin, so it causes them to die. We mainly use Captain Jack's for things like leaf miners. We use it on the bottle gourds and our kale and broccoli, things like that. And the last form of pest control is beta-thericide. That infiltrates the bug system and their digestive tract, and it erodes their digestive tract so that they can no longer digest things to eat. And we mainly use that on the corn because we have an issue with earworms in the corn. They eat at the leaves, and the corn is unable to produce leaves, which therefore makes it unable to produce the corn. Our last form of pest control is just going in with our hands and getting the pests themselves. We do things like aphids and the earworms again, just because they can be a bit hard to stop once they've already entered the plant. And so we'll go in with our hands or sticks and just pick them out.
My name name's Juan Velasquez. I'm the core coordinator at the UCF Farm and Gardens. And right here, I'm going to talk about the Three Sisters method of planting corn, beans, and squash. So my objective with this area is kind of to grow the major cash crops grown in the United States, but in a more holistic method. So this isn't anything new. This is something that's existed for thousands of years in the US, and it's just a symbiotic way of planting the three staple crops grown by Native American tribes in the Americas. So for the Iroquois, you have corn that grows the first sister. She's the oldest, grows the fastest and the tallest. And then you have the second sister, which is beans, which is the middle child in that it climbs up and kind of follows the oldest sister. And down here you have the squashes, pumpkins, gourds basically. And the idea behind that would be it kind of crawls on the ground in the way the youngest sister would. Corn is a very nitrogen demanding crop. It's a vacuum port. And beans, legumes in general, develop a nodule that actually fix atmospheric nitrogen into the soil. So they're kind of working together in fixing the nitrogen into the soil and then having the corn use it to fruit. And then the squash actually starts to provide a ground cover and sprawl out and start to provide shade to the ground in order to keep moisture and prevent weeds. And nutritionally, the idea of the three crops, the reason that they were planning to get together historically was corn was grown for the carbohydrate and starch content that could be stored over time for a long period of time. Beans were provided protein and fiber. And the squash provided fat in the form of seeds and carbohydrates in the form of the mesoderm flesh. And we actually have a fourth sister growing here that I just noticed she was there. It's a sunflower, and sunflowers will provide insect pollination for the squashes, as well as just attract beneficial predatory insects to keep, because flies, aphids, any of these all love the tassels. You'll see them up there.
Hi everyone, my name's Brittany and I am an intern here at the UCF Arboretum Community Garden and Farms. Today I'm going to be talking a little bit about raised beds and in-ground beds and which ones are better for you. So with our raised beds, they are higher up off the ground, so they are going to be a lot better for drainage and they're going to be a lot better for longer root systems. The raised beds are also a lot better for plants that are bushy and smaller, since there's not as much room to manage them. The in-ground beds are a lot better for plants that are big crops like corn, which we have over there, and it's doing amazing. In-ground beds are also going to be a lot more affordable if you can't spend as much money putting together and managing a raised bed. They're also a lot easier to till the soil because you don't have to do it all down close to the ground, pull the weeds yourself. You can use a tiller, you can use a hoe, you can get all the weeds out with tools.
Hi, I'm Natalia and I'm one of the interns here at the UCF Community Farm and Garden, and today I'm going to talk about the growing seasons in Florida. Here in Florida we have three growing seasons: spring, summer, and fall, and they vary depending on the region in which you are located. The state is divided into three regions: north, central, and south. The spring season begins with the occurrence of the last frost. In north and central Florida, most frost-tender plants can be planted in March, but in South Florida it doesn't really matter because they have very low chances of freezing temperatures. Even in the blistering heat of the summer, many vegetables can be planted in Florida. In central and north Florida, crops like okra and pumpkin can do very well in the heat. To make sure you have a thriving summer garden, your plants should be in morning sun and afternoon shade, and they should also be very well watered. Many people believe that the fall season is an excellent time to start your own vegetable garden. Here in our farmland, some vegetables that are thriving are broccoli and our kale.
Hi, my name's Kirsten. I'm a farm and garden intern here at UCF, and today I'm going to be talking about intercropping. So intercropping is a method that we use here in the farm and garden, and it's the opposite of monocropping. Monocropping is what a lot of large-scale industrial agricultural practices use, and it's where they take just one plant and they plant the same plant for acres and acres. And we do that differently here. We use intercropping, because it allows us to capitalize on the same amount of space and plant plants that are in a symbiotic relationship with each other. So we create more of a yield and we have really healthy plants. In this bed here, we capitalize on the intercropping's ability to use a lot of vertical space and also use the maximum amount of sunlight that's possible. So the lemongrass grows really tall and it likes a lot of sun. Underneath it, the oregano sprawls out really low and it really likes a shaded environment. And then to the right here, we have lavender. And so during the day, the lavender gets the most of the sunlight and so does the lemongrass. The oregano stays nice and shaded. And then from the east to the west, as the sun moves over top of the plants, they each get to capitalize on the most sunlight. So this example of intercropping is, the reason why we use it is to attract predatory insects. So one problem that we have with organic farming is that there are so many pests that want to eat our crops. So we've intercropped here broccoli and cilantro, and the cilantro attracts the predatory pests that would feed on the broccoli to otherwise deter them, so that again we can just grow more yield and have a bigger harvest.